What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. Today we're going to be, listening to Trump delivers a speech at his State of the Union. He's going to address his speech on Capitol Hill. So we're going to be listening to that, and watching that live. So fair use. Hopefully, I'm able to show this. I won't get any copyright infringements on this, so I'm going to try to show this live once Trump comes in and addresses the State of the Union. So what's going on? What you guys out there? Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. I'm just checking in and chiming in. This is my first State of the Union address with Donald Trump. With me having my show. So this is my first time, addressing this and listening to this. During the show, I should say. Yeah, so we got all the lawmakers, all the politicians, all the senators, all in one spot, getting ready to hear what Donald Trump has to say. He's going to be talking about the economy, foreign affairs and things like that. So, yeah, let me make sure that I can be heard too. Why he said that? So he just remind me to make sure that I can be heard. So yeah, we're listening to the State of the Union. We're getting ready to listen to Trump deliver his speech at the State of the Union. So here we go. Listening to the State of the. So I sound like I can be heard. I don't like when they give me that one option right there. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure you guys can hear me clear, and I can right there. But yeah, I'm gonna okay, so I definitely can be heard. So I just don't like this angle and this view that they're showing over here on YouTube. So let me go over here on Facebook and check and make sure you guys can hear me over there. That they're showing over here on YouTube. Okay. What up though, Facebook? Okay, I can be heard. Oh yeah, like I said, we are listening. We're waiting on Donald Trump to arrive so he can deliver his State of the Union address, talk about what's going on, throughout the country. He's going to talk about the economy, foreign affairs, and things like that. So like I said, this is my first time, on my show listening to one of these State of the Union speeches. So this will be a first time for everything, I should say. So I'm just gonna tune in and listen to what Donald Trump has to say. So hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. How's everybody's day going out there? I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. What's going on Facebook? I see you guys out there. The comment section is open. I have a few people that's going to join us. I sent out a few invites. Hopefully I got a Joe coming in to join us. And we got Big Ken maybe that's going to come in and join us too on this State of the Union address. So let me see. Let me know if you guys can see that and if you guys can hear that. So fair use, this is for educational and commentary purposes only. So I'm gonna jump back and forth so there will make sure there won't be any copyright infringement. But yeah, we're just waiting on Donald Trump to come in to address the country on his State of the Union address, I should say. So what's going on with everybody out there? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We are live, broadcasting live on all three of the social media platforms right now. We're just waiting on Donald Trump to come on in. So I have a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're waiting on Donald Trump to enter the room. He's getting ready to deliver his State of the Union address to the country. So we got all the lawmakers, the politicians, the senators, and everybody all in one room tonight. So give me your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union address by Donald Trump. What do you think his main focus is going to be on tonight? A lot of people probably want to hear a lot about the economy, how the pricing of everything has went up since he's took term in office. And a lot of people want to talk about it. Probably has a lot to do with these tariffs, that's been going on. So he's going to talk about foreign affairs and other things like that, things of that nature. So the main thing probably what the American citizens want to hear is, how soon are these prices, throughout the country, like far as food, gas, and everything, these prices, when are these prices going to drop? And I'm a concerned citizen about that. It's hard for everybody out here. It's definitely been hard for the some of the UAW workers. There's a lot of people that's been laid off. There's a lot of people that's been off of work indefinitely. And there's a lot of people that's laid off of work now. I'm one of them that's been off for a few weeks. So, I'm definitely interested in hearing what he has to say. Which I know, why I'm laid off has nothing to do with, this State of the Union address. But I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. The comment section is definitely open. I want to hear you guys' opinion, your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union address by Donald Trump. He should be arriving soon. We have all the politicians, the lawmakers, the senators, all in one room waiting on Donald Trump to come and address everybody. So let me know if you guys can hear me and see me clearly. Yep, and give me your opinion on what you think Donald Trump needs to address the American citizens. About I know a lot of people probably want to talk and hear about this war that's going on. It looks like Donald Trump is probably getting ready to come in any second now. Okay, so here's the president getting ready to come in. Okay, so Donald Trump is getting ready to enter the room. So give me guys his thoughts. Give me your opinion. Donald Trump is in the room. He's getting ready to address the union with his speech. This is my first time doing one of these on the show, so I'm interested on what Donald has to say. Going forward on just a lot of things with the American economy, with his foreign affairs, with this war that's going on. How is this going to affect the American people? So that's what a lot of people are, tuning in and, wanting to hear what Donald has to say. And then a lot of people probably are wondering, is he going to address this issue that he has looming over, with these Epstein files, so I wonder if anyone's going to ask him, or is there going to be any Q&A, and they'll be able to ask him, but I doubt, if anyone asks him any questions about the Epstein files. You know what I mean? So probably all the reporters that's there, that probably, if any questions will be answered, probably will be reporters from, the Donald Trump campaign, so therefore they, won't be answering questions that, that'll hurt him or make him look bad during the speech. No, but we got a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are Donald Trump has arrived. Just waiting on him to get on the podium, and then we'll start listening to what do you have to say. But the comment section is open. I need for you guys to comment. I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinion on tonight's State of the Union address by Donald Trump. You know, this is my first time doing one of these on the show, so you know, like I said, I would love to hear what he has to say. You know, I want to know what his plans going forward with the American economy. You know, a lot of people is upset with these tariffs. It has affected the American, economy in a lot of ways. You know, with gas, with going up, food going up. You know, the cost of living, everything. You know, uh, so hopefully we'll get the answers that we want to, that a lot of people want to know. You know, but if you guys want to come in and join the conversation, give me your email. Anyone is welcome to come in and have this have this conversation with us. I'm waiting on a few people to come in, but Donald Trump is getting ready to head to the podium and deliver his State of the Union speech. You know, so I'm going to go in and out and show a little bit, because I don't want to get written out. This should not affect. I believe, it's not like this is a pay-per-view or anything like that. So hopefully, I should be able to show this, without any, without them trying to copyright infringement, I should say. You know, so we're just waiting on him. They're doing their clapping and all that. So he's getting ready to step up there. Mr. Orange Man. Yeah, but my thing is, my whole thing is I wanna hear him talk about how he's going to, get the American economy back going, get these gas prices down, these food prices down, get people back to work, and just try to make this American thing great for everybody. You know, a lot of people are upset with the thing that he's trying to take away. With this whole DEI things and this whole DEI stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the mic over to Diamond. So here we go. Let me know if you guys can hear everything clearly. Turn this up a little bit. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna jump back and forth in between. I don't want to have any copyright infringements, which I shouldn't. This is not a pay-per-view event, so but I'm just trying to play it close. But yeah, Donald Trump getting ready to address the State of the Union. Second Lady of the United States. Yep. So the comment section is open. Let me know what you guys want. Let me know what you guys would want to hear from the president. Like I said, my opinion, he needs to discuss and talk about, on how to try to how he's going to try to get the economy back going by lowering these gas prices, lowering these food prices, and things like that. And address these foreign affairs, what's going on with this war, and things like that. But we have a few people watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union address by Donald Trump. Here we go. This July 4th will mark 2.5 centuries
progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. You see nothing yet. We're going to do better, better, better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber, had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, wide horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Why dude always showing up? He was at the last State of the Union. I believe Joe was there when dude showed up. I need for you to come on in, Joe. And what's his name? I forget his name. It'll come to me in a second. But yeah, we're watching Trump deliver his speech at the State of the Union address.
Inflation is plummeting.
Al something. It'll come to me in a second. Not the singer, but Al well, it'll come to me. But he was ejected out of the last State of the Union.
These are stacked. America is
All right, here we go.
perhaps like never before.
I believe his name was Al Green.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens border across our borders totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
You know, and we need to talk about that. Do you believe that's true that we have the strongest borders in American history since this administration has took office?
Illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
You know, and I don't have a problem with the illegal aliens. You know, the people who's not documented coming over here. You know, because that does take jobs away from the American people. I understand that part.
People that will love our country will work hard to maintain our. The flow of deadly fentanyl is down by a record 56%.
See, and when they talk about drugs and things of that nature, you know, that's another conversation. You know, because we know who brings who allows the drugs to come in throughout the country. It's not, you know, it's not us. It's not the citizens.
Think of it, we recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years. 1900, in fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I have a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. It's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. gasoline, which reached a peak over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, which quite honestly, the disaster is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states. And in some
Oh, that's
states,
not well. Most states not in the
$1.89
Midwest.
a gallon.
So we still down there at $3.
In the state of Iowa, just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
You know that's some bullshit. You know what? We need to see them damn prices everywhere.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years in falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
You know, so we need and people need to go and back up and have proof on what he's stating and what he's saying. You know, because what he's saying is a lot. You know, and that's a good thing for for all American people. You know, mortgage rates are down. Gas in Iowa, you know, I don't know how true that is down to 181.
Stock market is at 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up.
Well, I can attest to that. You know, in 401k,
$1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference, a president. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming in factories, plants, laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
So pretty much, you talking about that oil that they went over there and just deboed them up out of, probably. You know, allegedly. You know, so oil should be pretty low. You know, after that hijack.
Drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America.
Okay, see, and this is what a lot of black folks are upset with. You know, I was waiting on Big Hen and Joe to come in. This is one of the conversations that we were talking about and we were having with the whole elimination of the DEI.
And in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans to record of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
1.2 million off of people off of food stamps. I believe that's what he said. And that's a good thing. It definitely puts more money in the tax in the taxpayers' pocket. Um,
Is winning again. In fact,
but they need to be able to make jobs for those people who's not on welfare. So
please, Mr. President, we're waiting, but we can't take it anymore. We're not used to living in our country. Until you came along, but now we're winning too much.
So yeah, give me you guys' opinion. Give me your thoughts. The comment section is definitely open. What do you think about what Donald is talking, and what is he saying so far? Oh, is it a flock of bullshit, or is he talking something that you as the American citizen would want to hear? Look like he's bringing the U.S. Olympic. I'm not going to say the Olympic, but some guys with U.S. Olympic shirts on. But we definitely need to see some of these Iowa prices down here in the Midwest, far as with the gas. He definitely needs to address the food industry, like with these high prices, I'm going to say with the gouging of the food prices, and get some of these, some of these bill prices down. But the comment section is open. I definitely want you guys to comment, interact. Let me hear your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. They beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime. Everybody saw, as did the American.
Okay, that's what's up. That was the U.S. hockey team. All right, finally beat Canada. That's a big up.
I just want to say a second very big congratulations. I have to say that I took a vote. The team said anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there. They weren't about to say. Never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor.
Hmm. So he's talking about the U.S. Olympic hockey team went out there and won gold against Canada. It's a big thing.
Think of it, 46 shots on and I asked one shot, one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck, your stick bounced off. You practice that? Was that the back? You refuse to answer that question. But I just
So yeah, give me your thoughts, give me your opinion on tonight's speech. Like I said, he's talked about the economy. He's going to address foreign affairs and things like that.
we will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which will be given, which has been given to many athletes over the years. When I say many, not many, like Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Hopefully you guys can hear everything loud and clear. Let me know. The comment is open. Definitely love to hear you guys' opinion, your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union address. I gotta flip my camera around too. Just reading it backwards. You know what? No, that's just on that.
I'm also pleased to say that next time the Olympic Torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
Okay. That'll be something we're gonna have to come down there and hang out with you, BJ3.
Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
You know, and all cities should be safe. You know, I don't have a problem with that. You know, a lot of people get offended when he talk about, you know, cities being safe. You know, and that has a lot to do with, you know, with I'm trying not to offend people or trying not to say, you know, most people think when he say things like that, you know, he's talking about black folks, you know, but you know, we have to remember it's more white folks here in the United States than it is black. So, you know, don't think that he's just only talking about, you know, the minorities here in America. He's talking about, you know, whites too.
The heroes of Captain Free, men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous battle, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago, internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Okay. Talking about that gentleman right there. Looks like he's a World War II veteran. You know, but give me I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We have a few people in here who's watching, who's listening. Give me your give me your thoughts on tonight's State of the Union address by Donald Trump.
The spirit of 1776 has always shown through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen in the state. Rising 26 feet in a matter of minutes, tragically claiming many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Lily Kate McClament closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission. The young guy very brave, very, very top, always top in his class that he was
So I'm
in.
probably not going to
But one
listen to the whole speech. I just wanted to come in and go live and just hear a little bit about the economy, hear him address, what's going on with the foreign affairs and pretty much the economy here in the U.S. I'm not going to say I'm not concerned with what's going on overseas and things like that, but I'm really, my main concern is what's going on and what he's going to address about the American economy and what's going to affect the American people.
people watched Scott from a distance. And they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, it's something. Tonight, Scott and Billy Kate are here together, reunited for the first time. Thank you, Scott.
And again, this is for fair use for educational and commentary purposes only.
And Petty Officer Russ, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
Let me know if you guys can hear this clearly. I probably should have turned my other mic on the camera over there. That you guys are watching. So yeah, let me know if you guys can hear everything clearly. Okay, we got Joe. My bad, Joe. What's going on, Joe?
Hey, what up, though?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good, man.
Okay.
Were
you able to hear everything?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, and I'm talking about were you able to hear Donald Trump?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm able to hear him.
Okay. All right. So yeah, man, give me your thoughts, give me your opinion, and I'll turn that down a little bit if it's interfering with you hearing me. So let me know if that is him speaking interfering with you hearing me.
So yeah, I can hear him. No, you good. It's pretty balanced.
Okay. Yeah, so give me your thoughts thus far on what you heard from Donald Trump.
Well,
I want to see some of them Iowa gas prices he talking about down here in the Midwest.
Well, when I was traveling, the gas is pretty
I'm gonna
cheaper.
turn this down. Go ahead, Joe.
So I really want to speak on the this whole setup on this State of the Union address. I don't think people know exactly how much it takes to get through there. I went through it. I went there last year. So
Right.
I got a chance to see all this, and me watching this, it was like, damn, I was just there just a year ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I was like, I got to
Yeah.
get Joe here and listen. And before you go, and I'm gonna turn the floor back over to you. The same boy that was acting up last year, Al Green, that nigga was out there doing the same shit. What's going on with that, man?
Hey, I saw them acting up. Let me tell you what I saw, man. I was just last year, I was sitting there. I'm amazed because I'm like, a guy like me from Detroit that really ain't got no money, none of this to be in their league. And I got invited
Right.
to the White House and to Congress. And I'm just looking around like a kid in a candy store, just looking around, just amazed. I'm here. I'm talking to Elon Musk. I'm talking to his kids. I'm talking to Trump kids, and I'm just meeting all these people, and I'm just like, dang, this is amazing. But so we had to go through clearance. We had to wait in line, and they was going to seat us in a exact seating. Um, I went out there. The first thing I did when I went out there to get my seat, I saw what's our girl name from Texas? Crockett.
Okay.
I saw Crockett and Green and some of the other Democrats. They all was wearing black shirts.
Right.
Had black shirts. I forgot the words, man. It's been a minute. I forgot the words, but it was pretty much as heckling the president. And then they
which I
had
think they had the same antics tonight. You know, a lot of them didn't
they
show
did
up.
okay.
Yeah, and then I think, like I said, they had the they had to escort Al Green out again tonight because he was out there
Yeah,
with a sign, holding up a
yeah,
sign. I
that's
didn't
what I
see
was
what the
gonna say.
sign said, but they kicked him out.
Last year they all had signs. Now I thought it was routine, you know. From where I was sitting at was where the first lady was sitting at right now, and when Olympians, that's the door I came in when Olympians came in.
Right,
I was sitting right in that saying that's the guest, Olympus guest. Well, all president guests gonna go through that one door.
right,
And just when I went out there, I seen them all wearing shirts and they all had signs in their hands. I didn't know what the signs were. I didn't know they was going to hack the president like this. I didn't know.
right,
It was coordinated. They know what they were doing. The sergeant had to put him out. He gonna get sanctioned again for like a second, and he gonna leave. You know, that's what they wanted to do, disrupt his speech.
right.
But
And that's what he tried to do again today.
but it wasn't just him. It was Bernie Sanders as well, and it was also Warren acting a fool. And I was just looking at this is the type of stuff that we would do at work. Now I ain't gonna say at work, but at school. You know, I remember how we used to be in school when they were doing an auditorium and acting a fool and being silly. This is exactly what I saw at Congress, and I was just like, y'all make hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions of dollars, most of them. Y'all got power where y'all get I got so much power and control of the country, and y'all acting like children.
Right,
And I couldn't believe it. And they came in the door with this. They came in the door talking loud. Soon as they called out Trump to come out, they didn't clap. They like had their hands behind their back like they was in parade rest. And I'm thinking like, what's going on here? This is what y'all do, you know? So I know that this is no longer political. This is personal.
right.
The way they acting is personal. So yeah, man, that's you know, you see a lot of them. I saw Bernie Sanders on the phone, Elizabeth on the phone. They were sitting next to each other, texting. They wouldn't stand up. We know everybody standing up and clap from every time he say something. They wouldn't stand, and it was
Right.
just like a lot of childishness. You know, I saw it. You know, and people get mad at us at work when we want to have our moments, right? And we supposed to be professional, but these are people that's in authority. They can't act. That's not acting professional. It's weird to see that, man.
Right. Yeah, and
Uh,
I'm just sitting here looking at looking through the crowd, man. I don't see that many black people. You know, we're sprinkled here and there throughout the crowd. But
mhm.
you know, give me your thoughts, give me your opinion. You know, on that. You know, there's a lot of lawmakers, there's a lot of politicians, senators in that room. You know, and like I said, you see a few of us sprinkled here and there. Give me your thoughts on that.
So here's what I got to say on that. You know, somebody, you know, that's the first thing people message me on Facebook. That's the first thing the news. Oh, I ain't gonna say the news. Good news. I was pretty much on Fox News, but I didn't ask that. You know, they line with president. But I got thousands of messages. You know, once I got on Fox News and they introduced me, that I was at the Congress. I got messages from around the country like, you support Trump, but you ain't see nobody there. You and your wife was the only one there black, and a border patrol guy. We were the only black people there,
Right.
and the guy who had cancer, the boy who had cancer,
Okay.
and
Well,
and it was
out of your group is what you're saying.
out of our group. Yes,
Okay.
it was only like 5 or 6 of us that was black, but it was like got the only one black there. Y'all tokens and all this other stuff and all that, and I'm thinking like, well, if you people are upset that you don't see a black face. And I do not. I used to be that guy. I used to be like years ago. I'd be like, man, the black people. You know, I used to get upset when I didn't see someone look like me.
Right.
But here's the thing: we see people that don't look like you. That's true. But the ones you do see look like you, are they really representing you?
Yeah, you know, because and not to cut you off, you know, because when you hear speeches like this or you hear the State of the Union address, you know, and when you know our people look at this like that and they look through the crowd and they don't see really, you know, no blacks. They don't think
Hmm.
that, you know, he's really talking to them, you know, that he's really addressing you know, our people, you know, and I talked about this earlier. I'm like, you know, just because you may not see a lot of you know, blacks in there don't mean that he's not addressing, you know, all the American people, you know, especially when he was talking about, you know, the economy and things like that. You know, so
Listen,
just give me your thoughts on that alone, Joe. You know, like when he's addressing, when he's addressing the State of the Union, and he's just talking to the American people. And when people, like us, don't see, that many people in the room, they
You
feel
don't
like he may
you
not be
don't
speaking to them.
you don't need him to you don't need to see a black face for things to get done for you.
Right.
And I think we keep going wrong with that part because we haven't seen a number. Look, we had a black politician there, and he was the only one acting the fool. And guess who color he was?
And
He
that's
was
the
black.
same.
He
That's
was
the
black.
same. That's the same guy who's been acting a fool this year. That was there. The same
He's the
exact guy.
he's the black guy,
Yeah.
and he's the only. I ain't gonna say he's the only one. He's the only one that was on notice. That
Right.
was acting a fool. He started the train last year. Him and Crockett led the train last year.
Right.
It's always us that don't know how to put our personal differences to the side and gotta show our ugly ghetto side.
Now,
And that's
how
exact.
do you think that make us look as a people? As him representing us, coming in there, with his antics. He got kicked out of there last year. Same thing happened again this year. So, give me your thoughts on that.
Well, that just tell you that this is what people think of us. They don't think that we can put our differences aside. We act unruly. We don't know how to check our emotions. And this is the way American people see us as black people. We don't know how to control our emotions. I'm guilty of that. We all been guilty of that at some point. But you are elected official, and you cannot control yourself and control your peace. You represent your people, and I think he in Texas. You
Al
rep,
Green,
yeah.
I'm not I don't want to don't quote
Let me
me
see.
verbatim, but he
Let's look on the
may be.
laptop.
I have to look it up. But yeah, and that's given he's the representative, of a lot of people coming out of that state, and that makes I'm not gonna, I just want to ask you that question. Does that make us as a whole look bad when you see 2 years in a row,
Yes,
a
we represent.
representative of us, act up like this, in the basically on this main stage.
Yeah, he represent Texas, ninth congressional district.
Okay,
But
congressional,
here, congressional district. He
right?
been there since '05 actually, so that's been about
Yeah, he's been
21
there for a
years.
while.
So, but here's the thing. I don't. Was he there today? You said he was there?
Yeah, he was. They kicked him out.
Wow.
Yeah, they kicked him out right when Trump came out. He started his same antics with the sign or whatever. Like I was actually still addressing and listening, and doing my thing. And I looked up. I'm like, wow, they don't kick Al Green out again.
But I just tell you
I just saw them escorting him out with the sign he was holding up.
that. But you know what's funny though? They don't expect nothing better from us. So when you see black people, it's like, oh, that's just how they are. That's the way white people look at us, and anybody else racist looking at us. This is just how they way. That's just the way they are. And
Right.
honestly, that's not how we are. You know, uh, he's supposed to be a leader and show different. That's what I'm saying. What's the point of having a black face and present for you if they don't know how to conduct themselves? You have black leadership that did crooked, bad things. I'm a fan of Kwame, but he did some horrible things when he was as mayor of Detroit.
All right.
We have Mayor Barron, was from Washington D.C., smoking crack as the mayor of was it D.C. or Baltimore? One
Yeah,
of
he
them.
was he was the mayor of DC at one point.
Listen,
But when he was the
they
mayor
had,
of DC, he brought in a lot of jobs. And he definitely represented the people. But that was a bad look on
that's what I'm
him
saying.
as a mayor.
And he was the governor. I mean the mayor. But here's the problem: they still had crime. They still had one of the highest crime rates and
Yeah.
drugs in the country. But that's what I'm
Right.
saying. We had the black face that was in power, and look what they did. They ended up doing some type of fraud. You got one representative she's a black woman, Democrat, texting Jeffrey Epstein about what to ask questions at the congressional hearing and Congress like a few years ago. I'll take about
Right.
10 years ago. About 10 years ago. So my thing is, We have black leadership, but they don't know how to act. And this is what people think of us. And
Yeah.
I,
You know,
why having a black face? It hasn't. And besides that part, having a black face hasn't changed much. Tell me where having a black leader, somebody in black power or black leadership, hasn't really benefit us the most. Tell me where.
yeah, hey, I'm with you on that. You know, a lot of the faces have not changed, and it has not really been benefiting black folks,
Only
thus
one,
far, with the
the
same representatives sitting in these same seats every year.
the the only one that presented themselves like a true man and a black man was Obama. I take shots at Obama just based on his policies, but
Well, you know that's another story. I
but
got a lot of I can take a
I
lot
got
of shots
issues
at
with
him too. You know, but
I
go ahead,
got
Joe.
I got issues with him with his policies, but he still conducted himself like a man and like a black man. He represented us, except for the gay part, but he represented us in a way
Right,
where he presented himself like a president, like a man, as a husband, as a father, and I got nothing but respect for that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
Now I
he
can
was the
agree
only
with you
one
on
I've
that. If
seen.
you would have took that whole gay agenda that he issued in, I would have thought he would have been one of the, one of the top presidents of our lifetime.
But he
But
was very presentable, yeah. So I
yes,
got a
he
problem with
was,
him on that part. He didn't
but he was in
embarrass
there for
us
the
as
wrong reasons. I thought, but yeah, man, back to back to Donald Trump. Thus far, man.
what
And I want to ask you a question. Do they have Q&A here at the State of the Union? Because I know it's a lot of questions that a lot of people probably
no,
are going to want to
no.
have
Oh,
asked.
I don't know if they're going to change it up. Trump here to switch it up, but no, this is the time where you let the president speak uninterrupted, and he get to have an opportunity to address how he feels and where the economy is at. This is a State of the Union address for him to talk. It should be no Q and A answer. It wasn't none then either. Um,
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I
it's
wondered
not.
because I'm quite sure there's not going to be no Q&A, and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
if so, it'll probably just be from Trump's side, because I'm quite sure if it was Q&A, you'll probably have some motherfuckers up there trying to ask him some questions about this whole Jeffrey Epstein
Yeah,
type
yeah.
situation. So I'm quite sure they're not going to allow any of that.
But you said about the economy and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little nervous, Um, I'm nervous only because I'm just nervous about some things. I do, especially with the tariffs has been shut down, has been knocked down. Makes you a little nervous about how things is gonna go forth.
And I want
But
to ask you a question about that. Because I was talking to Big Ken a little while ago, and we were talking about that. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask Joe that question. All the tariffs that he put up, is it true that we are responsible now for paying back
yeah,
the how is that going to work, Joe?
well, it's gonna come out the tax funds. It's
Yeah,
gonna
so
come
we're
out
going to be
what
paying
we
for
pay
this
in
shit.
tax. It depends though, because some of them tariffs are not refundable. Because here's where how you get the money back. First of all, it's a 1 to 2 to 3 year process. It ain't tomorrow where, all right, man, I want my money. It doesn't work like that. It's so much litigation, they got to go through this. So it'd be about 1 or 2, 3 years before anybody even get a penny.
With some
But
technical difficulties too, Joe.
yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay, look
Yeah,
like we're having a few technical
I can hear you.
difficulties. Let me see what's going on. Let me turn
Can you hear me?
my thing up so I don't know what's going on. But Joe, if you can hear me,
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah, it looked like I'm having a few technical difficulties. I don't know if that was me or if that's me or Joe.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything, so what me?
Okay, Joe. Look like I'm back in here. I don't
You
know.
hear me?
Look like we're having a few technical difficulties.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what was going on.
So we're just off the part about the tariff. So this is what they saying was about to happen. First of all, it was about 180 billion, almost 200 billion dollars. The thing is that anybody who people will have to file a particular motion or something to even qualify to even fight for it. A lot of people didn't do it. They
Right.
didn't think they were going to get it back, or they didn't think or how the Supreme Court can rule, and a lot of people didn't file in time. So it's going to be a lot of those, and they're going to be able to qualify and get it. Then there's going to be some. There's going to be other companies that's going to file with the courts, and it's got to go work its way up through the chain. It had to go through the lowest court, that you know, appeals, blah. Then they're gonna go to the Supreme Court. It's gonna go right back there. So this is what it is. It's gonna take about a year to 2 years. It took a year for them to even deny the tariff. So just imagine what it's gonna be for the money. So yes, we're gonna have to pay that money back.
Yeah. So pretty much, man, and people are looking for the economy, like far as things to go down with the food, with the gas, and just bills and things like that, but far as just us having to pay this shit back, things may continue to stay where they're at. Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, it's 185 trillion dollars. They're already making cuts about 2 to 300 billion dollars a year anyway. So it might not hurt us. I don't know if it's gonna really hurt us like that. But what I do know is that he's gonna get the right back because he has other tariffs that he just put in place. The money gonna come back.
Yeah, because if not, man, that whole tariff thing pretty much backfired on the American citizens. If not, if we're
Well,
not to get this money back.
and I don't understand how the companies are gonna get it back anyway because we've been paying the consumer is paying the tariffs.
Right.
No, I don't know. So did we get our money back? The ones who pay it?
Probably not.
So I don't understand how that works. But that's just the part the Supreme Court should have had addressed it, but they didn't because they wanted the chaos to continue. I think Supreme Court knew what it was doing. They knew this was going to come back to them again. And I don't know, man. But regardless of what, I think Trump is doing what he need to do to bring our country back. And I'm confident in that. I just a little nervous because it's just the beginning of every new thing is a prevalence. And
Right. And a lot of things that he was saying earlier, we definitely have to do our research,
well, the
to
gas
make sure that
prices
what
is
he's
not.
saying is actually true facts, because a lot of things he was saying was good and great news for the American people and American economy. Like crime was down throughout the country. Gas prices are going down throughout the country. Like I said, he mentioned in Iowa, gas was down to like 188. Here in the Midwest, we're still kind of going back and forth between $3 and like maybe like 280, something like that,
Yeah,
which is
you're
still
right.
high.
Well,
Go
Triple A
ahead.
got us. Triple A got Michigan as $2.85. But do you know why it's $2.85?
Go ahead.
Because Michigan has put a gas tax on our gas as well. So look up Michigan gas tax.
I'm gonna have to do that.
I'm doing that right now.
And so that's causing us to pay more than the other surrounding states, is what you're saying.
So we paying 52 cents more per gallon because of the gas tax. So it wasn't for the gas tax. If the gas prices is 2.85 and the gas tax is 52 cents, we damn near paying we would have been at $2.30.
Yeah, we will be around them Iowa. Well, a little bit more than what Iowa was paying, but those are good prices that we saw a few years ago.
Yeah, we paying let's see. I don't know because I'm looking at it right now. I got it wrong.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here listening to Trump. You know, he's attacking the Biden administration now.
I
But we
you
got a few
know,
people here watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. The comments is open. I definitely want you guys to interact with us. You have Joe. Joe Knows up here. He was at the State of the Union last year. When Trump gave his speech. So we have someone up here who's definitely been there. Who's definitely know how how these things how this thing works.
so yeah,
So
they
Joe,
saying
go
it's
ahead
really
and
about.
just finish, talking to the people and give them your thoughts on this whole State of the Union address.
So even with the State of the Union address, you see the guy holding the daughter.
Right,
We all was in the room last year, and we got a chance to meet each other. And really, they had us on a big round table originally, and then we got to take pictures. We got to say our little thing on a WhiteHouse.gov. And I got to hear everybody's stories, and everybody there has a story. See, everybody that Trump invited has a story to tell.
right,
So, so if he talk about economics, it's going to be something he's going to address. It's going to be somebody there for economics. If it's going to be
right,
somebody who got hurt by illegal immigration, illegal immigrants, it's going to be somebody there to he's going to reference back to.
right,
Everybody there, every one of us was there for a particular reason. I was
right,
there as a person who was laid off from the automotive industry due to the EV and tariffs and all this other stuff. EVs and Biden policies. Another guy, I was affected by it. That's a lot of us got laid off last year was affected by that. Then you had a lot of people that was laid off through the steel market. We had one of the higher members of the union for the steel was there. Then you had a border patrol officer that was shot and killed. Was shot at by cartels on the border of Mexico. I heard his story, and right now what he's doing is just highlighting all the people. That lady right there. I didn't follow her while she was there, but something
right. So
happened.
pretty much every
Something
year,
happened to her.
it's a
Something
group
happened
of
to her.
people that Trump, he'll bring in and and I'm not going to say they'll give their speeches, but
No, they
it's a
won't
group
talk.
of people, right, that'll he brings in that he invites to hear his speech.
Yeah, it will be referenced back, so he will bring up now. They were supposed to have got to me last year, but
Right.
because of the 30 minutes of them acting a fool, they
It took
didn't. They
away
have
from
to.
you.
They had to skip the economic part of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they did talk about the layoff, but they didn't. I guess that's what it is. But maybe it was never when we scheduled in there. I don't know. What I
Okay.
was
So yeah,
told.
I get what he's doing. So pretty much every time they show someone,
Mhm.
he's giving his speech about how or what impacted each individual that they're showing.
What the lady did tell me before I go up there, she said, "Joe, I was going to let you know that uh, we won't, we might not be able to get to you because uh, of and this is the truth. It was no seating for me either. It was me and the border patrol, and a lot of us didn't have seats, so we had to sit on the stairs.
Right.
You know,
Oh wow.
uh, yeah. So they fit us in and have seating for it was hard for them, but they squeezed us in anyway. So they told me that, like Joe, it might be we kind of overbooked, a lot of people there. So we gonna honor what we said, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to. We did put it in for him to acknowledge you.
Right. Which we
But
saw you, which the cameras got you. I saw you.
yeah, so I kind of wish they did because I wanted to highlight the union, the UAW side of it, but that's okay. I was there and I got a chance to see that. You know, yeah.
No,
So
he's looking that guy right there looking kind of really upset, like Trump pissing him off. So I wouldn't love to know who he
yeah,
is. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on for a minute. I just wanted to give
yeah.
hear your opinions, your thoughts on this year's State of the Union, addressed
Mhm.
by Trump. You know,
I just think
a lot of things that he's talking about, it sounds great for the American people. You know, hopefully he'll be able to keep his promises, you know, that he made, that he has made. That's wow, this guy's in their sleep to the American people. You see that? Camera ain't shit unless he's looking down at something. But you know, hopefully he was. You know, but yeah, man. You know, yeah, I don't know what the hell was up with dude, but yeah, you
look,
know,
look,
at the
look,
end of
look,
the day,
look.
man.
All them
You know,
Democrats over there. Look at them
right,
Democrats.
right,
They don't stand. They don't
right.
appreciate. You know, and that's what they do.
Yeah, they over
It's
there falling
very
asleep. So look, you know,
honestly
I'm not gonna hold you up. I definitely want to listen and watch the rest of it.
okay.
You know, and I'll let you watch the rest of it. I just want to come in and tune in for a little bit and hear your thoughts and your opinion.
Yeah.
You know, Joe, give everybody your last words and let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach
You know, just relaxing and watching this. But yeah, you can always follow me on. I'm on Thread. I'm also on Instagram, on YouTube. I haven't officially been on YouTube, but I do have a page on YouTube, but it's not set up yet. But I do on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I accept friend requests. You know, we always can debate because that's what my pages pretty much is. Talking political. So I'm always on there. So you can find me on JoJo or Joseph Knows. You see my face. Me, my wife, or just me. I'm on there all day. Just send me a message. We can go at it. Share what you think. Cuss me out.
you. Right.
What
All
you
right.
do.
Well, hey,
I'm always
well,
on there.
again, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show to, you know, to give your opinion on the State of the Union address by Trump.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, hopefully Donald Trump or, you know, we'll hear great things like we've heard thus far about certain things that, you know, that concerns the American people. And it's the food prices, the gas prices and things like
Look, you
that.
see her?
You know,
You see
and
old
people
girl
being
said
laid
release
out
the
and out of
files?
work, you know, that we're mainly concerned
You see
about. Go
that?
ahead, Joe.
You see them?
Yeah, everybody looks like they're asleep. I just looked at, he looked crazy. He looked like he high on something. You know, but look, man,
I
this
gotta
is
see what you
crazy.
said.
But look, at the end of the day, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get some of these prices down. You know, hopefully, this money that we have to pay back in these tariffs won't affect our pockets. You know, in the bottom line, at the end of the day, you know. So I don't have anything else to add, Joe. I want to thank you again for coming on the show, giving your input on today's State of the Union. You know, it's another one. It's your boy Dame D, and I am out.
Mama, man.
Peace.